South Korea's impeached president has been released from prison. Yoon Suk Yeol greeted supporters outside his detention centre after a court in Seoul cancelled his arrest warrant on Friday. The Constitutional Court is expected to decide in the coming days whether to reinstate him in office following his impeachment. But Yoon still faces a separate criminal trial on insurrection charges over his brief imposition of martial law last December, which plunged the country into political turmoil. Well, earlier I asked journalist Fabian Kretschmer in Seoul if this is the end of Yoon Suk Yeol's legal troubles.
No, it's not, but he can now stand trial in freedom, I mean, as a free man, and that gives him an advantage, for example, when it comes to mobilizing his supporters. I'm right now very close by to his residence where Yoon Suk Yeol is right now, and of course there are a lot of supporters cheering for their president. But yeah, there's basically two trials ongoing against him. One is the impeachment trial, and a verdict is expected by late next week, possibly. It's not confirmed yet. And the Constitutional Court will either finalize Yoon's impeachment, and that would mean there would be new elections here and Yoon would be out of power, or Yoon would be reinstated into office. And then the second would be a criminal trial, and that is very severe because the accusation is that Yoon incited an insurrection, and that is a heavy crime, and that would, if he would be found guilty, would lead to a long time in jail.
Fabian, remind us how we got here.
Yeah, that's a good question. So it all started in early December when Yoon Suk Yeol, the president of South Korea, imposed martial law. And that was really an unprecedented decision, at least when it comes to the democracy here, because previously the authoritarian military dictatorships, they imposed martial law to crack down on the student movement. But basically it has never been happened before since South Korea became a democracy. We all rushed to the parliament here in Seoul, and basically soldiers were rushing to the National Assembly trying to block not only demonstrators but also the parliamentarians from getting inside the building. But actually they managed to do so, and then they voted down this martial law. So it only lasted for a couple of hours, but since then the country has been in a deep crisis, and the country is debating, was it justified that Yoon Suk Yeol was imposing martial law? He is saying that the opposition was is basically subverted by communist forces, and that they would be anti-state forces, while actually the opposition says that Yoon Suk Yeol became authoritarian. He tried to overcome a domestic crisis by imposing martial law.
Fabian, we've got about 20 seconds, but I'm curious to know how all of this is being received by the general public in South Korea.
Well, there's no middle ground. Basically, half of the country wants Yoon Suk Yeol out. He sees, they think that he's an authoritarian leader, and the others think that he's a fighter for freedom, and they want him back in office. The political landscape here is totally divided.
Great to have you on the show, Fabian. Journalist Fabian Kretschmer joining us from Seoul. Take care.